Yes, it's that time of the week. We are live with GarageBand Weekly here on Studio Live today. Let's do it.
GarageBand Weekly, GarageBand Weekly, GarageBand Weekly.
Oh, yes, it is that time of the week, GarageBand Weekly. My name is Pete Johns. If it's your first time here, where you been? Good to have you here. My goal on this channel is to help you create, record, and release your best music. And in this show, we do that by talking all about GarageBand, whether you're on a Mac or whether you're on an iPad or an iPhone or an iPod Touch. Who knows? I hope you are doing well here. I hope you've had a good weekend. Happy Stanley Cup Finals Day. Go Bolts or go Habs. I'm kind of neutral on this one, but we will probably talk hockey because that's just the way I roll around here. What do we got today? We've got our news and notes. We've got a feature topic. We're going to talk about Apple's new ad. We'll cover that in a minute. We're going to have a rant about Mac versus PC because, you know, that's a new and fresh topic. My tip of the week is how to convert your stereo tracks into mono tracks in GarageBand iOS. It's a bit confusing, but it's a pretty simple way to do it. And we're going to look at Brusfri for some noise reduction. We're going to have a little fun with some Brusfri this week. I've just recorded a vocal. That's why I was running a minute late. I recorded a quick vocal with some background noise so we can put Brusfri to the test and see if we can go there. Mark's saying I'm not neutral. Go Habs. There you go. Hello to the folks who are here live. We got Sean, we got Bubba, we got Mark, we got Thomas Christ. Hello to you. Hello Nina. Hello Scott. Hello Guzzo. Hello Jade Star, and hello to anyone else who I've missed. We're going to jump in and look at our news and our notes because. The thing that I wanted to start with here this week, about 3 weeks ago, so I'm kind of a bit late on this news, Apple launched a new ad. So you may recall their ad from about 2 years ago when the iPad Pro, I want to say 3rd gen came out, the 2018. So yeah, it must have been 2018. They released a video that was like the little kid and he's using his iPad and he's drawing and he's doing a bunch of stuff. And then someone's like, oh, nice computer, kid. And he's like, what's a computer? And it was really lame and I really didn't like it. Well, Apple have gone a step further into the lameness, and I'm on the fence about whether I actually show the ad. I'll bring it up here, and maybe we'll just share it on the screen, and I'll play a little bit in the background really quietly because it is this one here. It's again, your next computer is not a computer, and it uses the Part of Your World song from The Little Mermaid. And the premise here is that it's saying that I've got PCs, and you can see there's people surrounded by all this technology and all this gear and all these wires and cables, and they all look so stressed out. And then there's the people outside using the iPads looking all happy. So let's just play a little bit of this in case you haven't seen it so far, and I will link to the whole video. In fact, let's grab that now. I'll copy this and I'll put this in the show notes as we play this. But let's take a little bit of a look at this one. Just got to be careful of the music here. So the premise here is, sorry, the volume just has to go down because of copyright reasons. Probably already going to get in trouble just for the vision of this. But yes, it's people inside looking outside at people, creating photos and doing videos, and gamer guys losing on their big dual screen desktops, which is what I'm looking at right now. And then the kids outside playing on his iPad. All the cables, all the cords, all the problems that you have. And yeah, I know it is a thing that a lot of us go through. And one of the reasons I do use an iPad is for that exact experience, that I can just sort of sit without all that clutter. But I don't know. Do you think that this is the way to go? Is this a good ad, bad ad? Is this really representing what you can do with an iPad? As usual, there's no music production in sight. Not even video editing on this one. So it's really more about productivity, people taking notes and people adjusting photos and doing all their things. So your next computer is not a computer. It's an iPad. That's what they're saying here. So yeah, I'll have a bit of a rant about that because I got thoughts, I got views on it, but I'm interested in your views. So if you've got any comments or if you've got anything that you want to share about that, whether you've seen the ad, whether you like it, it's being played on ESPN here, which is where the hockey is. So that's related back to the hockey. So I've seen it a bunch of times. So I've just placed the link there in the show notes here. So whether you're watching live or on the replay, because we do love you, even if you're watching on the replay, don't worry, then you can actually go and check that out. But it is what it is. Yeah, I guess I'd be criticized if Apple were doing the Intel ads, which are really boring, and where they're just basically saying, "Oh, Intel are great and Apple are terrible," then I'd probably criticize them for that. Or I'd criticize them for being boring and not doing anything fun and creative. So I guess it's fun and creative, but I don't know. What do you think? All right, let's move on. Thing two. I want to direct your attention somewhere cool, because if you're a GarageBand fan, and I'm thinking you are, you know what? If you're watching a weekly show about GarageBand, you probably like GarageBand. So if you're a GarageBand fan, you need to be coming over here to GBU Indie Live. So our man Ron Ward over at the GarageBand Users group, Facebook group, he has set up this show. And because of some of the challenges, I just talked about the challenges of, copyright and playing things, even fair use, even when I'm commenting on that video, if there's nothing playing over that section and you're watching this on the replay, it means I've had to mute it out, or it means I've had to chop that section because I wasn't allowed to play that ad. Well, Ron was having the same sort of problem because Facebook, love your Facebook, but the way that they handle copyright, even playing other people's music, even other people's independent music, yeah, it doesn't work so well. So Ron was having issues on Facebook. So what has he done? Well, he's created himself this channel, GBU Indie Live, and it's Ron's separate channel that he's hosting. I've put my reminder on there. What I'm going to do is throw this as well. Well, I've already done it. That's already in the description. So already in the show notes down there, you can jump in and check out Ron Ward and GBU Indie Live. So he basically plays a bunch of music from the community. And if you're not a member of the GarageBand Users Facebook group, then you should be. And I know every time I mention this, some people will comment and they'll reach out to me and they'll be, I'm not a Facebook user. And I say to them, don't be on Facebook for, catching up with Auntie Beryl. Poor Auntie Beryl, she's getting some shade in the last few days. You don't have to use it for anything except your music if you don't want to. Don't even tell anyone that you're on there. You get to choose. You get your control of your privacy settings. You can see what's in there. And I can tell you that my Facebook feed is almost 100% music stuff. So yeah, I do use it occasionally to catch up with people my family and friends that I'm not near to. But all the other drama that goes on there that people don't like Facebook for, don't engage, but do engage here, because there you can see Ron Ward's got the announcement there. GarageBand Users Facebook group is where it's at, and there's 11.9 thousand members, so nearly 12,000 members of the GarageBand Users Facebook group. So if you want to chat with some like-minded people, to get some tips, to get some ideas, to ask questions, to share your music, to listen to other people's music, GarageBand Users Facebook group is the place to go. Thomas says they're still going with the iPad as sub for a computer without pro apps. Doesn't make sense. Yeah, we'll rant on that in just a moment. Hello, Nikon, who has snuck on in here. Hello to Sunil. Always a pleasure having you watching the videos. So thank you, Sunil. We'll have a quick beverage. Nikon says you don't use Facebook, use Tweet. See, I'm very bad at Twitter, and the reason I don't really get behind Twitter is that Twitter's kind of hard because it's not really community-based, at least in my experience. It's kind of hard it's more one-to-one and one-to-many kind of things, and there's not enough people that I tend to want to follow, and I don't really understand how retweeting works. People direct message me, and then I miss all the messages, so if you've ever tried to contact me on Twitter and I've not responded, it is nothing personal. It's just that I'm bad. Pete's bad at Twitter. As Bubba says, no FB for me. I have the right to be silent, but not the ability. Yeah, right. I guess that's another thing. If you can't, I say this about everything. I'm like, handle your high, and whether your high is social media or any other sort of illicit whatever you want to do, make sure that you can handle it. And social media is not for everyone, because I'm not saying Bubba can't handle it. I'm sure you'd be absolutely fine if you did, Bubba. But for some people, they just know, hey, like some people don't walk into a casino because they know if they walked into a casino, they'd dump all their money on red and lose their house and their shirt. So they don't do it. Some people don't go to a bar because they don't want to, they have had drinking problems in the past. And again, I'm not saying this all to be related to you, Bubba, but handle your high. Know what you can do, know what you want to do, and then do it. So yeah, if you're not into the social media thing, don't worry. Hang out here on YouTube. We'll have fun. We'll have a party, because there's plenty of communities out there. Case in the house. Have not seen you for a very long time, Case. I hope you are doing very well, my friend. Arnie G says for radio station plays, Twitter is a big plus. Well, there you go. I wasn't aware of that. You'll have to tell me more. Tell me more, Arnie G. In fact, Arnie G, aren't we overdue for having you on the Creator Series here on Studio Live today? I think people would love to hear some more about Arnie G and her musical process. Let me know. Put a comment in there saying yes, Arnie G for interview Arnie G. Just put that in the comments if you think that's the case. Fabio says, hi Pete, it's Fabio from Brazil. I'm still having these weird freezing screen on the app. Weird freezing screen. Well, if you saw yesterday's show, yeah, I've had some weird freezing screen lately, so fingers and toes are crossed here today that we have some success with our technology. But yeah, you have to give me a little bit more information. I can't remember what freezing screen problem that was, so feel free to provide some more info and let me know. Yeah, Sunil says I live on Facebook, lots of fan followers. Yeah, Facebook's pretty cool. And Mark says, yep, Arnie G for the win. Yep, GGG. There you go. Might have to do that, Arnie G. Let's chat. All right. Here's a weird one. Speaking of weird, in fact, I've got these as a couple of topics here. I got an email during the week from someone that said that they were having strange problems with GarageBand crashing, like on a regular basis, and they couldn't figure it out until they took their magnetic cover off, and they said that it suddenly started working again. Now, I don't know if this is the case. I've never come across anything where a cover is actually affecting it, but I'm at the point now where I'll believe anything. After some of the weird errors and weird things that have gone on, where one setting that I change and then everything suddenly works again, I'm not in a position where I'm going to say things will and won't work anymore. So I don't doubt it. I think that that's probably a case. So I guess what it boils down to is that if you're having problems, if you do have issues with things, try everything. Like don't feel like, oh, it can't possibly be this, so I'm not going to try that. Just try everything until it does actually work. Speaking of trying everything till it works, look what happened here. I tried to bring up my iPad screen and oof again. Wow. All right, we're going to unshare that, and we'll see. What I'll do, this is what I should have done yesterday, and I didn't actually do it. We're going to turn off and on. I'm going to take my own advice here, because what I'll do is I'll jump to my next section. So I've had some GarageBand Has Stopped errors, and some errors saying, your audio is being used by another app. And to fix it, what do? Well, I close all my apps, which I can't show you how to do because it won't let me display my thing. And then I turn off my iPad. So we hold down the power button, we slide to power off, and I'm going to turn off my iPad, and we're going to come back to it. In the meantime, what I'll do, just as a fail safe, I haven't done this for a while, but let's get my iPhone and let's try screen mirroring this sucker and see if this is going to work, because we haven't played around with this for a while, and maybe this will go a little bit better than the iPad. Nope, it's doing the exact same thing. It's bringing it up, but it's bringing up a blank ass screen. This could be a quick show again, folks. If I can't demonstrate anything, I might be holding my phone up to the camera like this and going, okay, click here, and then click here, and then click here. And you know what I've just realized? I still have my green screen on. And I still had my green screen on yesterday. Okay, it's going to have to add that to my checklist, because I sometimes use a green screen and sometimes don't. I'm definitely going to have to put on my checklist, check green screen and turn off if not a thing. All right, so it seems like it's reflector that's causing the problem here. So what do? Well, we close out of that. So we're going to close out a reflector. The last 2 days, I feel like I've just been a troubleshooting tips with Pete. Yes, Thomas Christ. Oh, reflector. I know. For some reason, you know what? I'm gonna load up reflector 3, because I've been having the issue more with reflector 4 than I ever did with reflector 3. So let's turn on reflector 3 and see if sometimes older may indeed be better. Let's mirror this up here with reflector 3 and see what happens. If this works, I'm just gonna I'll be happy, but also kind of sad at the same time. No, we've got exactly the same problem going on here. It does have a nice design there on reflector 3. But yeah, buggered if I know what's going on with this, because that's the old version now, and it's doing the exact same thing. It's not showing my thing, and it did yesterday. It did work yesterday. So, yeah, we might be talking more about things. So if you've got questions, we can have a bit of a chat. This is going to be more of a talk show today than it is going to be a demonstration show, because we'll just roll with the punches. And there's always coffee. We can always just chat about the Stanley Cup for the next 45 minutes. That'd be fine too. So the GarageBand Has Stopped errors that I was getting and I no longer am, well, hang on, log back into my iPad. They are generally caused by another app trying to use the audio at the same time as your GarageBand app. Now, a couple of ways you can go about this to try and fix things. Number one is to turn off turn off background apps. You can go into airplane mode. That'll do that as well. So just go into airplane mode there on your settings. That can help. And just close down any of your other apps. So if you've got a bunch of apps running, just flick them all away. So slide up and flick everything away. Close down everything. Start from scratch. And then fire up your GarageBand from there, and then start using it again. That generally helps. If all else fails, guess what? The old universal fix, you turn it off and on, don't you? So does anyone else struggle to remember how to turn off an iPhone now? Because they don't have power buttons, so I'm pretty sure it's the volume up and the side button that brings, yeah, there you go. So that brings that up, and then we can slide to power it off. So turn it off and turn it back on. I know I say this a lot, and I know it seems really silly and redundant, but turning it off and on can really help you with what you are doing. I'm just going to quit reflector there. We're going to try just a few more little things because, again, you never quite know the weirdness. I'm going to close out of a few apps here and close out of a few things and move everything over to my other screen. And what we're going to do is we're going to remove the sharing screen. We're going to add, hang on. We're going to, stop sharing this screen, and we're going to share this screen over this side. So you get to see the other side of my screen, which we've never seen before. So now you can see behind the scenes of what's going wrong here. So if we click here, actually no, that's my webcam settings. We're going to go to our spotlight. You can see I've tried Reflector 4, I've tried Reflector 3. We'll try Reflector 4 again. So there it is. It's loaded up here. Everything looks good, right? This is how we reflect our iPad screen. Not a great ad for Reflector because it's kind of not working. Let's just go into our settings. We'll look at our preferences, and maybe we'll just change our connection. So why don't we just make this 720p? And we'll put the default scale to the default size. Just change a few settings can sometimes just fix things up a little bit. All right, so there we go. So that's set. And now what we can do is we can attempt to share our screen. So I'm going to go to my iPad screen mirroring. It's got Pete's Mac Mini there, and it's going to pop up. Let's have a drum roll, please. Oh, what are you doing to me, Reflector? Whew, it's rough. So there's nothing showing there. We can play here, so you'll be able to hear it coming through. In my eyes. There's something that I was recording earlier that I was going to be able to play, but you know what? It's okay because all we'll do is we'll make these. We'll make a separate video. The actual demonstration parts. People just have to reboot, restart, retry, and re-record. So if you were hanging out, if you heard me mention at the start that we were going to do a couple of demos, we're going to do a Brusfri demo, and we're going to show you how to convert your stereo tracks into mono tracks, then what I'll do is I'll explain those things as we get to them here, and then I will link to separate videos that I'm now going to have to go and create, which we'll release. So there you go. We'll roll with it. Yeah, Reflector is not quite reflecting today. It's not. It's not. And I haven't done anything different. I know it's a weird thing. You're like, what did I do different that I didn't do today? What could possibly be causing it? I got no idea. It has happened before. I can't remember how I fixed it. So we'll just take the L, take the loss for that one for today. We'll reboot. We'll try again. So yeah, maybe we'll do that in a little while. Although the hockey is on, so maybe not. Right. Well, I'll stop troubleshooting. But yeah, it's good. Hopefully that gives you. Whenever something goes wrong, here's what I think. I'm like, I know things go wrong for other people as well. And hopefully it gives you a feeling of camaraderie and a feeling that, hey, it's not just me. I'm not doing stuff wrong when things fail for me. Because Pete, who's been doing this for 6 years, he can set everything up and it can just not work as well. So my next computer may not be an iPad. No, Reflector may not be what I use. I have been considering that I should probably get some sort of better setup so I can, now that I've got my iPad Pro and I've had it for over a year, I should probably get my USB capture card plugged into my Mac and get that set up. So in fact, after this very show, I'm redoing my studio because you may be aware that, in fact, let's talk about this stuff because now that I know that none of that's going to work, I'll come over here because we got some good news. Good news, everyone! The Zoom Live Track, which is the mixer that I used to use, Zoom Live Track L8. So you might be aware that I talked about this mixer a lot back in the day. It's this one here, and I used it on my PC. When I switched over to my Mac, guess what? They did not have drivers for it. We could not use it on the Mac at all and weren't able to until very recently. About 2 months ago, they actually released drivers for this one. So it is now, if we go to supports and downloads, I'm going to do this right here now. We have detect whatever. Zoom? Is that really important? So there's new firmware. Released back in February. I think I have that firmware. I don't think I need that. But here we go. New L8 driver released on the 24th of March for Mac OS 10.12 to 11. So they've got Mac OS 11, which is Big Sur support, just in time for it to no longer be the thing. You know what I've done? I'm sharing the wrong screen, aren't I? All right, I'm going to stop that screen. And we're going to. That would have been all like weird Inception. You would have seen my notes, and you would have seen this screen going in there. It is this a screen that I'm talking about. There you go. So this one here. So what we'll do, I won't do this live, but I'll download that zip file so that that's ready to go over here. So there you go. There's my L8 driver for my Mac. So I'll be playing around with that in the next day or so to get my studio set back up because I want to get everything running better. Not that it's been a problem, but it's all a bit messy. It was all kind of cobbled together, and then when I had to switch back because the mixer I've been using now, by the way, here's a side note. You can go to studiolivetoday.com/gear if you want to check out all the gear that I use. If you come down here and you look at mixers, which is this one down here, there's my two mixers. So there's the Zoom Live Track L8, which is actually a really good mixer. And now that it has GarageBand, now that it has Mac support, I'll definitely be using it again. See, look at that shininess. Yeah, it's got lots of cool things. It's got like buttons with sound pads that I can just sort of play music straight in here. It's got 6 independent. Went to New Zealand again. 6 independent channels there with mic pre's, 48 volts fan of power. You can use the first 2 as high Z or high Z inputs, and the other 4 have got pads. You got your gain control. You got your full EQ control there, so you can select each channel, and you've got a channel strip that you can use on each channel, including a low-cut filter. It's just a really nice board, so I'm looking forward to getting back to that. The one I'm using at the moment is actually a great entry-level mixer. I highly recommend this one. You can hear me coming through it now. It sounds good. Has all the very similar sorts of options, but not quite the same level of gear going on there. So this is what I'm using right now, the Samson Mix Pad. So it's got 4 independent channels there, and then it's also got another 8 stereo channels. Well, 4 stereo channels, 4 pairs of 4. Oh, there it is. And yeah, it actually works really well. It's class compliant, so it'll plug in and play nicely with your iPhone or your iPad. And for doing things like live streaming, podcasting, live shows, it's actually really good. And you can see there the difference. This is a $180 mixer, and this is a $400 mixer. So the reason that I'm using this one is that it's class compliant, meaning it didn't need a driver to run, and I've been able to use it here with my Mac. But I'm looking forward to switching back to the Zoom and finally having a little bit of Zoom in my life on the Mac. So that should be good. I think I saw Russ. Hello, it's Pete Johns. Yes, it is. It's Russ. It's Russ. How you doing, Russ? Let's see. I think we've got a few more questions that have come in here. Fabio, who was having the problem with the crashing, airplane mode. So I think I have a video about this. Let's just check because we've got no ability to share my iPad or iPhone screen. We're going to be doing a lot of this sort of screen sharing by just jumping over here. So Pete Johns GarageBand crash. I think I've got a video. Yeah, there you go. Check out this one. So this video here, how to fix GarageBand crashes and errors. And look, I'm a good fella. I put timestamps in there as well. So if you go to this video, so just search Pete Johns GarageBand crash, and if you come on down here, check this out. I've got all the different tips. So tip 1 is to turn it off and on, close your background apps, remove and re-add plugins, reset GarageBand, and then the 7 scenarios. So when GarageBand won't open, it crashes when selecting an instrument, crashes with automation, crashes due to audio unit plugin, optimizing performance, and crashing when exporting. So I go through all of the different things and help you with some troubleshooting tips that that may help you out. So if you are having problems, if you're having errors with GarageBand, search that one. Pete John's GarageBand crash. Here, I'll copy it and I'll pop it into the chat for those here live. If you're watching on the replay, just search Pete John's GarageBand crash, and you should be able to find yourself that one. Retro Scooter, hi. Very cool name. I like cool names. It says GarageBand has stopped working. It's on a lot of the Apple forums too. Yeah, so this is a problem that I've been having, and it's usually to do with another app running in the background. So again, if you search out that video, that could probably help you. And if it doesn't, turn it off and on. Try that. Make sure you're also updated to, because there were some more issues in iOS 14.5. iOS 14.6 seems to have fixed those issues. It potentially has added new issues, some people are telling me, so that's not awesome. But yeah, that will have all of the tips that I ever have. Oh, there's only one left of the Samsung Mixpad. If anyone wants the Samsung Mixpad, studiolivetoday.com/gear at $179. That's actually a bit of a bargain, and there's only one left in stock. So there you go. Which GarageBand user will go and nab that last Samsung Mixpad? And then if I get my Zoom working, there might be a Samsung Mixpad secondhand in good condition for sale. Who knows? How can we save GarageBand projects without a cloud, without iCloud? So you can save your GarageBand projects to your device, and this is where it would be great to be able to show a device. I'll turn my iPhone back on, shall I? And I'll hold it up to the screen like I said, like I attempted to do. But basically, you got 2 locations. So you've got 2 locations. In fact, I can use a previous video. I don't have to demonstrate. I can just show my last video. So if Pete John's locations, I think this will take us to the video that I want. No. It's weird when I'm trying to find. You know what? It'd probably check out the iOS Files app. I think I've got some files tips. Yeah. So if you search Pete John's iOS Files, this is sort of more of a deep dive. So it's a 10-minute video. This one's a more recent one, 8-minute video. I'd go in and check out this one because this will tell you everything you need to know. There you go. There's that guy. Everything you need to know about your GarageBand. And look, I'm a good fella again because I put timestamps in there. So what I've got is all the details about the Files app, locations. So check out this section in particular. In fact, let's just play it. Let's just see what past Pete had to say about locations on your iPad and iPhone, and iCloud versus the on-device location tags. Now, the 2 locations you'll probably use the most and will be on any iPhone or iPad, be using it for all of your file management. There's 2 more videos and a heap. Hang on. I pressed the wrong button there. Let's just go back. Locations. I was trying to full screen. Now, the 2 locations you'll probably use the most and will be on any iPhone or iPad are these 2, the iCloud Drive and the On My iPad or On My iPhone. Now, On My iPad or iPhone is the default location where any of your applications will save their files most of the time unless you've told them to use iCloud Drive. So, for instance, our GarageBand for iOS here, I've got a bunch of projects here and these are saved just to this iPad. So that's the thing to keep in mind there, that when you use that location, the On My iPad versus iCloud Drive, it just saves it on your device. Means if your device goes for a swim in the toilet, guess what? You lose all your stuff. But it's not actually that bad because I think in this same video I talk about zipping. So down here in this section. So what we're going to do now is copy this GarageBand project over to my Google Drive. So that's the section that I want you to check out there. So if you save everything on your device and you don't want to use iCloud Drive for whatever reason, you don't have enough storage or you just don't want to, you can use something like Dropbox or Google Drive or even export to a USB drive, then you can do that, but you need to zip it up. So this video, 10-minute video, I think this is going to answer all of your questions when it comes to iOS files and how to do all this stuff. So yeah, save it to your device, but then make sure that you're frequently backing it up to a Dropbox, a Google Drive, a USB drive somewhere else, because you don't want to just rely on your iPhone. As we've discovered, as many people have been saying here today, yeah, it's not the most reliable platform all the time. So you don't want to have your stuff in one place. If it's in one place, it is not protected. You're not backed up if things are just in one place. Who hasn't said I haven't done anything? It was working yesterday. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, anyone that's worked in any sort of helpline knows that everyone that calls up says exactly that. They're like, I didn't change a single thing, and it's not working. Yeah, I say that a lot too. So yeah, it's true. Sometimes you've done nothing, and it's just not happening. Core Blocks says, how do I sidecar on an iPhone from an M1 Mac? It's a good question. You know what I haven't played around with at all? Sidecar. I should have. It's on the list, but yeah, I haven't actually played with it at all. So maybe someone else could answer that for you. Let's see. What if we use the good old YouTube search here? If we go sidecar iPhone M1, is there videos about this? There you go. Look, second video down. Created check. Ultimate productivity. Sidecar on M1 iPad Pro and M1 MacBook Air. There you go. And by the way, I talked about it last week, but I'm a little bit excited, especially now that Reflector has not worked today, that you are going to be able to AirPlay directly from iPhone and iPad to a Mac. That's coming in Mac OS. What are they calling it? Not so Catalina, Big Sur. I can't remember. Monterey, Delta Ray, West Covina. I'm not sure. I've got another name for it. Yeah, and yeah, good. It is a good question. I haven't played around with that yet, but it looks like there's a few videos over there. So there, that's it. The old thing is, let me Google that for you. Now it's let me YouTube that for you, because I must admit I kind of use YouTube before I use Google. So case in point, and this will actually lead us nicely into our feature topic, which feature topic / rant of the week, because they're all going to kind of come together. It's going to be a bit of a mishmash here today, but yeah, I was setting up a new computer for my dad. It's a PC because Dad's been a Windows user forever, and didn't want to switch over to a Mac, which I totally respect because I didn't really want to either. And considering that I'm tech support, I kind of wanted to make sure he was using something he was familiar with, and I was as well. So we got the PC, and we're setting up the new PC there. And I've forgotten my point. I've forgotten my point entirely. Don't you love that? Just going off on a tangent. So we'll flip over into this, because I'm going to have a bit of a rant here, and my rant of the week is this: will I use a PC in the future, or am I now a converted Mac guy and will be forever? I don't know the answer, to be perfectly honest. So my current setup, just in case you're new to the channel or you're considering the same sort of thing, is that I use iPhones and iPads a heap. So my iPhone and my iPad are kind of my primary device when I'm mobile. When I'm here in the studio, my primary device used to be my old faithful i5 Intel PC running Windows, and that was what I used for everything. I used that for live streaming, for emailing, for all the creative stuff, for creating, designing, using Canva to create thumbnails, all of that sort of stuff. All my YouTube analytics and YouTube work was all done on my PC. And then Apple released a Mac M1, and I was intrigued because mainly, you want to know the main reason I bought a Mac M1? Because it said it could run iOS apps. How did that work out for you, Pete? Yeah. In case you missed the note on that, turns out that it was opt-in, and very few people opted in to being able to have their apps on the Mac M1. So all my dreams, see, how good would it be right now if instead of me having to do all this mirroring stuff with my iPad to show you things, I could just bring up GarageBand iOS right here on my Mac and just show you in that with my mouse. But I can't, because that's not how it works. So that was it. I was super skeptical because I bought literally the base model. I bought the 8GB Mac Mini M1, and it cost me $1,100 Australian. I think they're $700 US, and I didn't think those specs were actually lower. Like my PC, my aging 10-year-old PC had 16GB of RAM. My Mac M1 has only 8. I honestly thought that it was all going to be hype, that I was going to do this as a bit of an experiment. I was going to take one for the team and be your guinea pig, and then a month or 2 months later, I'd be like, oh, I hate this Mac, I'm going back to my PC. Way it's turned out is quite the opposite, to the point where my next computer will be a Mac, but it won't be an iPad. And that swings us back to that ad and what Apple are actually doing with their current strategy, because they're going with this, your next computer is not a computer, and they're pushing the iPad. I get that. But they're also telling you to buy Macs and MacBooks and advertising the Mac. as a portable device as well. It's almost like there's two departments. I don't know if anyone's worked in a place like this where there's like two completely separate units and they're just not talking to each other. So the people that want to sell all the iPads are saying, yeah, your next computer is an iPad, and they're going with this big marketing campaign. And then the Mac people over here are going, oh, hang on, no, we want you to buy a MacBook. You should buy a MacBook Air or a MacBook Pro. That's your next computer. So it seems a little bit disjointed. It seems, and look, I've said it before, and I know that Jade and other people that comment on this stuff have said it. Apple are not afraid to cannibalize their own market. So they're not afraid to go, well, you know what? If we sell 20% more iPads and 20% less Macs, so be it. That's the way we're going to roll. But considering that there's been so much energy and hype pushed into the Mac M1, that now for them to go, but I thought we'd seen the end of the whole your next computer is not a computer thing, because it kind of says, oh, why would I ever buy a desktop or a laptop computer again? The thing about that is, you still do, because the dream that a lot of people had that Mac OS would basically just come to your iPad, right? That was what people were thinking. It's not working that way. What we're seeing is that Mac OS is becoming way more like iOS. Not that iOS is becoming more like macOS. I know we've talked about this a lot, and I know I'm beating a bit of a dead horse here, but all you have to do is look at Mac OS here in Big Sur and do something like, click up here on your control center. How much like your iOS does that look? It's exactly iOS now, yeah? You've got, displays and sounds and your airdrops and everything. All of the new features, all of the new changes that are coming here to macOS are making it more like iOS. So it's actually bringing everything together. So maybe I've just talked myself around in a circle to the point where it's actually pretty smart, because in the future, maybe there'll be very little difference. But here's the thing, and I think as Thomas said right up front here, what about those that want to use pro apps? Right now, you can't do that on your iPad. iPad OS is not good for running pro apps. The Files app, bless it, for all the things it can do, it isn't a Finder and it isn't a Windows Explorer. It is a clunky way to manage your files. You can't see your folder sizes. You don't even have a progress bar yet. That's coming in iPad OS 15, but we don't have a progress bar when we're copying files. So yeah, I don't know. I'm struggling to work out what the strategy is here. But we'll see. We'll find out. Let's find out together, shall we? All right, let's see if we've got any other questions from folks here in the chat. Bubba says, yeah, Reset GB has saved me when all else failed. Yeah, if you don't know about resetting GarageBand, that is something that you can do in your settings. Again, I can't show you because of weirdness going on here today, but if we go to that, if we put Pete John's crash again, one of the things that I show into this video, oh, geez. That's not good. Let's not show that.
If you're having problems with
if you're having a problem with GarageBand, do all these things. So if you go to this video and come down to here, let me just show you. I'll just play this little bit for the reset function.
Our fourth tip is to use the reset GarageBand function.
We'll show you where it is.
This setting is actually here in our settings option as opposed to GarageBand. So let's tap on settings first of all. And over here on the left, if we scroll on down, what you'll notice is that we'll start getting the settings for individual apps. If we keep going down there, there is GarageBand. We tap on GarageBand there. You'll notice here that we can come down here and we can reset GarageBand. So if we tap that slider on, and then the next time we open GarageBand, it'll be reset to its default settings.
It does. And what I'm about to say there is that
you will lose any of the...
Yeah, you will lose not much. So you will lose any of your custom settings. You don't lose any of your files. You don't lose any of your plugins. It just will revert back to default. So you would then need to go in and make sure you've got things like your automatic section length on, your 24-bit audio is on, anything like MIDI, crosstalk protection, any of that stuff. So you just need to go back to your settings after you've done that. Then you'll be good to go. But yeah, I agree that. Guzzo said, I've been resetting mine later. I've been having heaps of optimizing screens. Yeah, optimizing performance is still an issue, especially if you're on an older iPad or iPhone. It's sad. But Brian says, Brian Burke. Brian Burke, isn't that the name of one of the GMs in the hockey? Got hockey on the brain today. You're right about YouTube. Almost has everything. Yeah, there's not much that you can't find on YouTube. Thank you. That was the point I was making. Is that I was setting up my dad's computer, and he uses Mozilla Thunderbird for email, which I don't usually use Outlook. And I was like, oh man, how do you find and back up and then copy across the Thunderbird mail files from a Windows 7 machine to a Windows 10 machine? Like, God, I got no idea. YouTube, Thunderbird, backup, copy files, boom, 5 videos. Find the one that looks like the right sort of thing, boom, and we're away. We're learning. So, Windows, YouTube does have pretty much everything about everything. It's pretty cool. Monterey, there you go. Monterey is the new Mac OS or iOS 16, something like that. Barry Smith, I think, did you ask this yesterday? If I were to get Cubase's 3, would it have more vocal presets than GarageBand on the iMac vocal preset? Man, you're comparing a couple of things that I know not a lot about, because GarageBand on Mac, I don't know a lot. I wouldn't worry too much about vocal presets, to be honest. Vocal preset is really just there for you to get your initial sound and then for you to tweak afterwards. So GarageBand iOS has got enough vocal presets for me. It's got like 6 different presets. You just choose one and then you tweak it from there. So it's more about the performance. I know we talked about this yesterday. More about the performance you're getting in than it is about the having presets or what you're using. Plus, you can always use other plugins, so you can grab AUV3 plugins and use those as well. Nikon Dev Gaming says, I got an M1 MacBook Pro with a touch bar on it. Cost $2,000, so it wasn't cheap. Yeah. And if you spec out, so what I'm waiting for now is that this Mac M1 Mini that I've got right now that I kind of know that Macs are going to be my thing, my next purchase, if they do bring it out, will probably be the Mac Mini that has like an M1X or M2 chip that I can just stick 32 gigs of RAM in, or at least 16, a couple of terabytes of SSD, and then just call it a day. And it'll just be done. Just like, this is going to do everything for me, because it kind of just does everything for me. Despite the challenges I've had with technology the last couple of days, it is so much better. If you've watched Your Music Live episode 1 that I was streaming from my old PC, and then you watch Your Music Live episode 54 that we did on this weekend, the difference is just amazing. Like the quality of the video, the streaming quality, the playback of the screen, everything just works so nice. And that's using StreamYard, which works well on low power devices, but it's game changer in terms of that. And I just had to flick my mind. I just flicked that switch in my mind that said 8 gigabytes of RAM is not enough. System on a chip is bad. Integrated graphics. I've been told for 10 years, do not use integrated graphics. Guess what? Integrated graphics work like a treat. So who knew? Go figure. There you go. Bubba has been Mac-pilled since the 80s. There you go. Only amount of time before we see the Mac pad. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. We'll see how we go. Thank you, Mike Feligno. I appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Thomas Christ said, I made the switch from PC to Mac. Best decision I could have made. Absolutely. I never thought I'd be saying this. Never thought I would be saying, yeah, I'm a Mac guy. I used to be the definition of the stodgy John Hodgman in the I'm a Mac, I'm a PC. Did you see what happened with this stuff? So this is going to be a weird episode because I can't show my screen. We're going to get a little bit talky here. But do you remember these ads? Hands up in the chat if you remember the John Hodgman, Justin Long ads here. The I'm a Mac, I'm a PC. It was these two dudes, and I was this guy. I was the chubby nerd, didn't have glasses, and I didn't wear quite that brown jacket, but I was the chubby nerd, and I was surrounded by the cool kids that were like wearing the hoodies. They're like, yeah, dude, I totally rocking a MacBook, or what do they call them back? An iBook in the day. And I was like, no, I'm I'm a PC user. I'm a PC, I'm John Hodgman. Yeah, but I never thought that I would actually be on the other side of the fence. So you never know. Never say never, I guess, is what I'd say to that. Lou Music, thank you. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Hey, it's Fretless 33 Bass. Go and subscribe to this channel. This is our man who is the moderator of the. It's Fred. It's moderator Fred. Did I get your name right? Moderator of the iPhone. See, this is the problem when people have like their monikers and then their actual names. I kind of lose track sometimes, but moderator of the iPhone musician group. So if you're a member of the GarageBand users group, I would also join the iPad musician and the iPhone musician. If you're a mobile creator, those are two great groups for your AUV3s, for your mobile creating, Cubasis or Aurea or GarageBand, of course. So go check out that channel as well and join the iPhone musician group on Facebook. Still on the iPhone 12 Pro Max now, but I can't afford a new iPad or an old one. Yeah. And that's the thing. You can do pretty much everything you can on the iPad, on the iPhone. Someone actually asked me to do a comparison. Like, can I do a feature comparison of everything that's different between iPhone and iPad GarageBand? So it'll take me a while to collate that list because there's subtle differences. Things like the size of your guitar It's not the size of your guitar, it's how you shred on it, right? Like the dual keyboard layout, some of the layouts of some of your buttons and things. So maybe that's something that we can do. If Reflector would play nicely, we could do a side-by-side comparison, and I could actually show the differences. So there's something for a future one. How do I clear stuff in my iCloud storage on Mac? See, iCloud storage is a real pain in the butt, to be honest, because there is no way to remove it. So here's the thing. iCloud storage will just put everything everywhere. So with a lot of cloud storage, the reason I like it is that you can say put something in the cloud to free up space. The problem with iCloud is that you put stuff in the cloud and it stays on your desktop, and then when you delete it from your desktop at the linked location to iCloud, it deletes it as well. Same with your iPhone and iPad. You want to free up some space on your iPhone and iPad, and you go to delete something in iCloud, it says this will be deleted forever. There needs to be an option to delete from the cloud delete from device, leave in the cloud. And if I'm missing something here, let me know. But in my experience, I have not found a way to delete from device, leave in the cloud. The weird, stupid thing is that when you run out of space on your device, it does exactly that. That's what offloading is. So when it actually offloads files, when you go into your files and they've got that little cloud there, it means that they've run out of space to store it. So see here, like that murdering time, you can't really see it, but there's a logo there. There's a little thing with a down arrow there. That means it's on iCloud Drive, but it's not on this device. However, as soon as I download it to this device, if I then go to delete it from this device, it deletes from the cloud too. Is that wacky to anyone else? Does that make zero sense? Or is it just me? There must be a way to do it. The only way I've found to do it is to fill up your phone with crap until it reaches overflow, and then it will just start offloading stuff back to the cloud, and then they're not on your device. But yeah. So short answer is I don't know, especially for Mac, I'm not sure. There you go. Brian Burke is the president of hockey operations for the Pens. There you go. I thought Thomas would know that if it was a Pittsburgh thing. PC, nah. It'll take 2 years for Windows to catch M1 while M1X is coming, and that's the problem, right? It's that AMD and Intel are not doing the same things. They've missed the boat on this one. They keep creating these power hungry, burning hot chips and all these separate chipsets that are just not that, they're not going for that performance. They've missed the point. They're still stuck where I was 10 years ago, where they're like, people just want gigahertz, people want lots of numbers, and they want things that just run really fast that we have to cool with giant fans. That all being said, the Ryzen chip that's in the computer I just bought Dad, the PC, is actually really nice, but it's a business machine. He doesn't need gaming or graphics, multimedia stuff, but for a business machine, the Ryzen chip, I've always been an Intel guy, and you know what? I almost, because I'd selected the computer to get for Dad, and I almost went with the Ryzen, the AMD, just because I'm just so not into Intel anymore. Apple has left the PCs in the dust. They're like, woo, they're flavoring. So yes, we've got folks that do remember the old I'm a Mac, I'm a PC ad. No problems at all. Only a handful of apps are not iPhone compatible. You'll be absolutely surprised. So when people find out that I edit every video that's not live that you watch on this channel, I edit on this. I edit in LumaFusion. So I come in here, I load up LumaFusion. If you want me to prove it, I don't know why you'd ever think that I'm trying to lie. But I can come in here, and if we want to see my last video, this is that behind the scenes video I did, there it is. So there's that little outtakes video that I edited right here in LumaFusion, and I literally edit it like that. So I can just use it in in portrait mode, and everything's there, all my editing tools, all in the one spot, all on my iPhone. So it's amazing what you can do on an iPhone, especially if you've got an iPhone 10, 11 or 12. It will work really well for you. So don't be sad if you've only got an iPhone and not an iPad. The only difference is if you're like me and you're getting old and you're trying to look at things. Sometimes things are a little bit smaller, but in that case, get like a Max or the larger screen size. Or like the old, my favorite iPhone was probably still the iPhone 6S Plus. Is it around here? Is it in the drawer? Yep, here it is. And what I need to find out, side note, I've got a broken iPad Pro 1st gen, and it works fine. The actual insides are fine, but the screen has a crack in the bottom left corner. It's barely noticeable. Doesn't affect the performance whatsoever. I priced an out-of-warranty screen replacement for a 12.9-inch iPad Pro. I'm going to let you guess how much Australian Aussie dollar bucks it's going to cost me if I wanted to replace the screen. So let's get some guessing going on here. If you're watching live, let's have a bit of fun. Guess what the replacement cost of a 12.9-inch iPad Pro screen is here in Australia if I do it officially through Apple. And the way I'm saying this, you know it's going to be pretty high. But this is my old iPhone 6s Plus. This thing is an absolute machine. It's a powerhouse and it just does really good things. But this has a significantly cracked bottom there. You can see that. Yeah, so I need to, apparently these screens are only less money, I won't say because it'll give you an idea of that. We'll look at it in a minute. We'll go into the Apple screen replacement just for fun, just because we got time here today, because apparently I can't show my screen. We'll get your guesses in here and then we'll go with it. While we're doing that, we'll come over here. So Apple screen replacements. I'll go into their official iPhone. That's iPhone. We need iPad. Apple iPad screen replacement. We'll search over here. iPad screen replacement. Oh, that's see. I'll probably have to go to one of those dodgy ones. How much does it cost? Out of warranty fee. So here we go. Let's come in here. We'll throw your guesses here that we've got here. So we'll see how close some of you can get. So Clear Grey Sky says 500 clams. Bubba says 200. Phil says a lot. Guzzo 180. $300 dues 500. 450. Free if you have warranty. Yeah, I bought this iPad Pro. It's iPad Pro first gen second hand, and I bought it about 2 years ago. So it's about a 6-7 year old iPad. So let's see. Yeah, they'll give you a $35 trade. Oh, that's the other thing. I wonder how much they'll give me a trade in on this, on a new one. So let's jump in here. So how much does it cost? Out of warranty fee. Let's just have a quick look-see, shall we? All right, we'll scroll on down here. We've got an iPad Pro 12.9-inch first generation. It is 909 Australian dollar bucks. Yeah, 909. And a $65 Apple Care Plus service fee. I don't even know. Do I have to pay that as well? Maybe. But $909. Yeah, exactly. And I know I could have Apple Care, and look, I probably should use Apple Care on things. I've been pretty careful with my stuff. Here's the thing. All my older iPads go to my kids. Has anyone ever made this mistake where you keep it and you don't drop it, you don't break it, you don't do things, and then the kids had it for a couple of months and now it's got a crack. But that's okay. We'll work through it. But yeah, that is $909. And heaven forbid if you've got one of the latest 5th gen, it's $1,145 for that. So, yeah, let's just say that, in fact, if I wanted to get a 12.9-inch iPad Pro, what is the actual cost? So, iPad Pro is from $11.99. So, I could get the entry-level M1 iPad Pro 11-inch. I know it's not the 12.9, but I could get that for $11.99. So for like $300 more, I could get a brand new one, and I could even get the Liquid Retina 12.9-inch iPad Pro for $1649 or $2,000. So who's paying us out? To me, do you ever have those things where you get a tradie out to do a quote? Tradie is like a tradesperson, someone that comes to your house. In Australia, we call them tradies. Get a tradie out to look at something, and they just give you a price that basically just says, I don't want to do this job. Yeah, this is Apple's I don't want to do this job price. This is what they do to say, yeah, we don't want to replace this screen. You don't want to replace this screen. You just want a new iPad, don't you? Because I bet I should go in there as a test. I should take it in and just not say that I've done any research and just talk to the genius and say, how much would this cost you? Yeah, and exactly. How much for a refurb first gen 12.9 Pro? Exactly. Bubba says I'm in the wrong business, 900. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And the refit, it can't be much more than the screen. And I think that's the point, Tom. I don't think that when I've had screen issues in the past, a lot of the time, instead of repairing, they don't repair the screen on the spot, they just swap it out for a refurb model. So I've actually had that happen a couple of times with screens where it's been like not my fault. So there was one time where my old iPhone 5S kind of developed a twist in it, and it was really weird. I don't know how it happened, but it kind of had this weird twist where the screen popped out the corner. So on that one, they just handed me a new one and just said, there you go, swap it over for free. So sometimes they do that sort of thing. So I probably won't bother, but I do want to get this baby because this is going to be my classic. This is like, you know how people that have cars have that car that they only take out on weekend that they just sort of look at and rub with a cloth and go, ooh, I want this to become that. But it does have a ridiculously cracked screen. So I want to see. And maybe I just roll the dice with this one and take it to Dodgy Brothers, one of those in the wall kind of places, and just get that done. I don't know. But I just love it. Who doesn't love the design? I'm sorry, but this was the classic design, right? The nice smooth rounded corners, these beautiful stripes that you had going on here, and then a screen with a bezel at the top and bottom, a rectangle, a home button, a headphone jack, no notch. This was where it was at. This is the iPhone I want. Just doesn't have enough power anymore for what I do. And this thing, blah, blah. Oh, I nearly threw it. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, we are nearly done here. We've got about 5 minutes left. Yes, ciao to you. Good luck in the hockey. Hope the Habs can get up for your sake, Mark. And yeah, ridiculously cracked screen. It's ridiculously cracked. You're a GarageBand artist. Many of us are. Love it. Yeah, what we're doing, we're going to look at. Let's just go to our old friend eBay. And let's just see what an iPad Pro. What can we pick up a decent quality? iPad Pro first gen 12.9. Let's just see if we can pick up if we go to Apple, oh, there's a locked one there. Yeah, basically, here's one. So pre-owned, this one, $765. So yeah, is it going to be worth me doing any of this? And I bought it secondhand for $500, so $880, $800, $700, $799. So yeah, is $900 going to be worth it? Heck no, not going to be a thing. Yes, I'm a Rangers fan. Definitely. Dodgy Brothers sounds like the go. Yeah, we're probably going to go with Dodgy Brothers. So what didn't we do on this show that we were going to do? Well, it was a couple of things that were going to be in here, which was how to convert stereo tracks. So I'm going to tell you these and then keep your eye on the channel because I'll have to record these separately. But I'm going to show you how to convert stereo to mono. So if you didn't know, when you're using GarageBand on iPhone or iPad, every track is a stereo track. And someone had a question during the week. They were like, I've got a piano track in my GarageBand. How do I actually change that to it's in stereo? So every track there's in stereo, right? It's got those two little lines, and that means they're stereo. And when you play a piano, the low notes are on the left and the high notes are on the right. It actually pans it for you. Same with your drums. And that is what people want a lot of the time, except when you don't. And when you don't want it, guess what? There is no way natively here in GarageBand to actually do it. So what is the fix? Well, you solo the track, as we've done here. You export it, and then you put it into Audio Share. Audio Share, if you don't know, is a fantastic app. Oh, upside down. Fantastic app that does everything you need. And it actually has a tool here where we can convert. So you can convert here and you can convert into mono. So you can convert stereo to mono. You grab that file, you export it, you throw it back into GarageBand, and boom, it's mono. Now, it'll still take up a stereo track because there's no way to tell GarageBand to have a mono track. So it'll still take up a stereo track, but it will basically have exactly the same on the left and the right. So it means that you can pan it left and pan it right without having any problems with that. So that is a video that will be coming this week. The other one I was going to do, which I don't really need to do, is Brusfri. So someone sent me some really noisy audio this week, and they're like, oh, I don't know what to do about this. And I'm like, I'm about to rock your world. And so I stuck it into Brusfri, and it just removed all the background noise straight away. So what I was going to show you here today is I recorded this vocal, which I'll just play here through my microphone.
When you look in my eyes, you will see a surprise.
Could you hear? I deliberately recorded this while my daughter was brushing her teeth because I wanted to get some background noise in there. So I put that in. And if we go to plugins and EQ, I was going to show you the awesomeness that is Brusfri, that if we add Brusfri to this, we'll just come in here, Brusfri. So if you've not used Brusfri before, what you do with this is you play back the audio, you tap and hold on this little ear button here, and what it does is it samples the noise and it removes it. So let's hit play and see if we can do a quick demo of this.
When you look in my eyes, you will see a surprise.
That's pretty good.
So that was just a really quick example of that. So again, if we listen back to this without Brusfri on, just listen to that background noise coming through.
When you look in my eyes, you will see a surprise.
Especially at the end there, you can really hear it, right? Let's turn Brusfri back on and play it.
When you look in my eyes, you will see a surprise.
Almost gone, yeah. You can still hear it faintly. But, you know, I wanted to throw something at it that was going to be a real challenge. And, yeah, I thought electric toothbrush sound. So I may do a video on that just to show the awesomeness of Brusfri during the week. But there you go. Spoiler now, you now know what's coming with both of those. Phil Gone, hello to you. I'm currently using an iPad Air 2, I think. It's in great shape, but doesn't let me upgrade past iOS 12.5 or download new apps. Is there any trade-in value or a way to get iOS 13 apps? Short version, Phil, is no. Sounds like you got an iPad Air 1. So iPad Air 1 won't go past iOS 12. iPad Air 2 is iOS 13, 14, and 15 compatible. So if you've got an Air 1, I've got one of them as well, it just won't ever update, unfortunately. So trade-in value is minimal. Apple will give you like $30, as Bubba said before. If I look here at an iPad Air 1, say a 16 gigabyte, I'm not sure what size you've got. Resale value, we're looking here in Australia between $100 and $200, so probably $50 to $100 US, or your equivalent there. So probably, yeah, you're probably not going to have a lot of luck with that. But yeah, you would need to upgrade to at least an iPad Air 2 or higher to run iOS 13 or 14 or 15 to do that. Final question here from Oscar. Hi, are the samples on GarageBand copyrighted? I mean, can I use some of them or to create from scratch? Yes, you can use them. They are not copyrighted. They are available for use with any commercial release you like. I've got a video about it, so I won't harp on here because we're plumb out of time. But if you come over here and you search Pete John's GarageBand copyright, I think, is that going to get there? Copyright, yeah. So Pete John's GarageBand copyright. There's a bunch of videos here about GarageBand and copyright that cover this. The one I direct you to is this one here. Are Apple loops legal? Yes. So all of these I basically cover. And what I say is you can use them. They are legal. Apple give you the right to use them in any of your videos, any songs that you make. You just need to make sure that you vary them up. So don't ever just use one loop at a time or one sample at a time. Always try and tweak them, cut them, chop them, change them, do something to them to make sure that they're going to not be the exact same as someone else's. So there you go. Thank you, folks, for being here in this slightly strange sort of show that we had here today. I apologize for some of the things we couldn't do. But yeah, if you did get some value out of this all the same, hit the thumbs up button, and that would be a good thing to do. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, because we've got a whole bunch of stuff. We'll have videos coming through the week. We've got some cool stuff coming. I've got an interview. I'm actually being interviewed on the StreamYard Connect show later this week. So watch the channel for that. I'll make sure that there's plenty of notice and indication of when that's happening. Next week, of course, we've got Your Music Live happening on Friday. We've got the Creator Town Hall. We've got the Happy Hour. And, of course, this show, GarageBand Weekly. They are our 4 shows that you can tune in to here on the channel. As we say at the end of everyone, please be kind to yourselves. Be kind to others. Keep creating. And I'll see you real soon. Bye.